for all of you, if you could find, oh, Mindy says, I can hear you, but you can't hear me. Oh, well, Mindy says, okay, I'm glad you can hear me, Mindy. And I'm not sure what's going on, why I can't hear you. Everybody is unmuted. Perhaps it's something with your speakers on your end. But I will plunge forth then, if you're all here. And we might have one more joining us midway, and I will hear them when they come in. So thanks for joining us, everybody. If you can find the chat box, looks like you all have, write me a short note here, even if you've told me already. Write a note that says what your business is and what your interest is in advanced Facebook, and maybe even a question or two that you might have. I'm going to proceed here, stopping occasionally to ask you questions, and there will be time at the end to get any unanswered questions answered by me. So how to find the chat should be to roll over the bottom of your screen and it'll come up. It might be at the top of your screen depending upon how you formatted it. So you will get a reminder, or just a reminder, you will get a recording of this webinar, complete with the slides and my face in video format, and I'll send it to you as a link probably by tomorrow morning. Now we have Erica here. I know it was with me last week. Did you get that recording?
So I'm not sure, because I think the last one was with a different email address, so I have to go back in and check that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you would check, I would. I'll resend it to you
Okay.
at the same time as sending this one, if you don't have it. So it's a real easy thing for me to send out the link again. Okay. So Erica, dog training business, looking forward. Wait a minute. To do cheap and easy marketing. That's a great thing. Dog training. How long have you been doing that? You can
here in town about 6 years.
Oh, excellent. Okay. And then Liz's business. Liz has taken several workshops from me. Her business is Peak Experiences, which is offering coaching and outdoor adventures. Yay! Wow. And she says, I'm not sure how advanced I am with Facebook, so just curious. Well, we're going to find out. Yep. You will be more advanced by the end. I'll guarantee that. And Mindy is with Fry Fine Art. Duh, I knew that. Looking to enhance understanding, capture a larger, more applicable audience. Okay. I hope we can do that for you, Mindy. And we've got one more person checking in. I just heard the bell that tells me somebody has joined. And in a second, their name will come up. I'm going to unmute all the rest of you and turn off your video so that I won't be distracted. But you'll be able to ask me. You'll be able to ask me questions as using the chat box as this goes on. Okay. Who is it that has joined us? Mindy, Amy, Liz, it's not showing up yet. Amy has joined us. Amy, if you can hear me, just drop me a note in the chat box. You can find the chat box by rolling over the top or the bottom of your screen. All right, I'm going to move on until we hear from Amy a little bit. Don't forget, I'll send you the recording tomorrow. First, to start this webinar, I want to just go through we're going to do a heck of a lot of Facebook, but I want to give you a tiny bit of Facebook data. So everybody says Facebook is dying, right? And that everybody is leaving it in droves, and that is just wrong, 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 according to the data. Now, the chart you're seeing on your screen is somewhat old. It's from June of 2017, but I know all the updated numbers are showing there's been a tiny bit of drop off in Facebook, but not so much. But for you, from a business point of view, you just need, there's Amy, I can see Amy. Amy, type me a note in the chat box if you would, and I'm gonna turn off your camera.
Well, did you? Oh, there you are.
Hear me, Liz?
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I accidentally unmuted myself. That was bad. All right, so back to this chart here. What we know that, sorry, one moment.
No, you muted it. You muted yourself again.
Everybody. All
There
right,
we go.
back at it. Back to this chart. Facebook is still #1 compared to all the other social media sites. And so that's about the main thing you need to know as a business. It's far and away the most popular one, and it's where people spend the most amount of their time. So that's why, as a business, you've got to be using Facebook. Okay, so here's what we know about Facebook. Americans are still spending 50 minutes, 50 minutes a day using Facebook. And so that just means they're spending a lot of time there. For me, it's 24/7. For others, it's much more than this 50 minutes. For others, it's far less. But that's what the average is, and that's why you need to be there. So here, a little tiny review just to sort of check, are you at the beginner level or are you at the advanced level? So do you know, and you can type this in the chat box or just think to yourself, do you know how to easily toggle between your personal presence on Facebook and your business presence? Many people have difficulties with that and know that it's just a downward arrow at the upper right, wherever you are. Toggling between the two, and you want to make sure you do that. It's important to be using the proper page, right? Do you know how to schedule posts? And if not, type me a note in the chat box to show me that you'd like me to send you a mini video tutorial I have on how to schedule posts. And I'm going to look at it just really briefly later on in this. Amy's asking about her phone, and Amy, you should be able to hear me through your computer by using the link that I sent, and you shouldn't need a phone. So you could try that, go back and find the link and just click on the link open. You shouldn't need your phone to hear me, okay? So do you know how to schedule posts? We're gonna cover that briefly a little bit later. And then here's one that people often miss. No matter what you're doing with your business, even if you're a sole proprietor of your business, you're the only one there, you really should have a second administrator of your business page. And that's just to cover things like all of your systems have crashed and you can't get on them and you need to post something right now because it's snowing and the thing you're going to do isn't happening or whatever it is. But you should always have a second administrator. So make sure you do that. It could be a family member if you don't have any other employees. It could be an intern. It could be your neighbor, something on that order. But think about that, having a second administrator. So again, this is a beginner level review. Can you find the insights to your Facebook business page? I'm going to let you think about that a second. You can't demonstrate it for me, but finding your insights. That is to say, here's a snapshot of the top of my business page with my face way too big and my video partner, Nanette. So when I'm visiting my business page, my insights are located right where that pink circle went. If I clicked on that word, insights, now this is only me seeing this, the public doesn't see this, I'm seeing it as the owner of this page. Clicking on that brings up a very detailed review of the data that's behind your page. And we're going to look at those insights, how to use them to improve your posts. We're going to look at that just a little bit later in this webinar, okay? So here we are still in the beginner checkup. Do you know what this photo at the top is called? It's got a specific name. It's what it is called. It's called a cover photo. People often call it the banner photo or the timeline photo. And I just want to get that terminology in your brain because cover is what Facebook calls it all throughout their support materials, and that I'll call it from here on, the cover photo. And so we're going to look at what you should do with it a little bit later in this webinar. But know that that cover photo, that big banner at the top is called a cover photo, not a banner, not a timeline photo. Cover photo is the official term. All right, so on with the advanced stuff. All right, so your #1 job as the owner of a business page, as the administrator of a business page, is to continuously, constantly build up your fan base and the number of likers to your page. That is what you should be gaining, what you should be working on every day. And the #1 tactic I can give you for gaining fans especially if you're new to Facebook, is to ask your friends to like the page. And we're going to look at how to do that in the next couple of slides. Often when I'll say this in a live workshop of entrepreneurs, they'll scream when I say this: I do not want to mix my business and my pleasure, my business and my personal life, and my personal friends don't care what my business is doing. Understood, I get all that, but when you're new, you should use your personal Facebook friends and families to help you get some early traction so that your posts can be seen by more and more people, and it's through your friends and their friends that you are going to make some connections that are meaningful. After a while, tell your friends they don't have to like you anymore. They turn you off as a fan. But just, it's something that you should do if you feel comfortable doing that. If you're managing a page for a giant corporation, maybe you don't want to do that. But if you're, I'm assuming you're a small business and should do that. All right. So Amy is back online, I think, through her computer. Now, if you would unmute your speaker, that would be great. Or we're hearing papers being shuffled around. So when you were, I'm going to back up one screen here. To the right, or excuse me, to your left when you're visiting your page, you should see this indication: invite your friends to like this page. And what that means is, okay, sorry, I'm hearing some strange noises, and I'm going to try to get Amy. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so I got it. When you press that sentence that says, that notation that says, invite friends to like your page, what will come up is be something that looks like this. You'll have obviously different people, but here's my list of personal Facebook friends that pops up at this moment. If I were to click that, invite your friends, and it pops up and I can pick and choose from this list. And you can see that Margaret has liked. That means she's already my fan. Jim and Deb, the button says invite. That means I have not yet invited them to become my liker, my fan, and I should consider doing so. Christine here has been invited, but her button does not say liked, it says invited, and that's because I've invited her once, she's chosen not to, and I don't get to ask her again. That's a spam control thing that Facebook has built in. You don't get to keep bugging people, at least through this feature on Facebook. So your list will look like this. Facebook gives you the opportunity to send a note to each and every one simultaneously, automatically, but don't do that. Pick and choose among your friends who might be most interested in what you're doing and would really follow through when you ask them to do so. So that's just an often overlooked feature. And if you're a person that is continually adding new personal friends and family on Facebook, consider doing that every now and then. Invite your friends and then have that list come up and pick from them who you could invite to the page. Especially for those of us who live in the small town of Peterborough or in the small state of New Hampshire, doing that works really well because our personal family and friends do care what we're doing, and they also are connected to people who really, really will use our services, okay? Tied for the #1 way to get more likers to your page, #1 is the most important thing you can do is, drum roll please, post good content regularly, okay? And what people ask me about is, what is good content? Good content is, it should do one of these 4 things. It should entertain somebody. It should engage them. In other words, inspire them to respond with a like, a comment, a share, or a question. It should enrich their lives or enlighten their lives. Enlightening could be something that's not necessarily related to your business, but something would be interesting for your readers to know, and just enrich their lives. So that's a 4E technique for thinking about, does this post enrich, enlighten, entertain, and engage, and/or engage? All right, #1, really, don't be boring. Don't be this guy up in the corner. Put up good content regularly, and if you're stuck for ideas, are you stuck for ideas? Here are some things to think about that you could post about if you need to, if you need ideas. Answer the common questions that you're getting through your website or through your Facebook page or walking in your door. Common question if you're doing dog grooming, how often do I have to do this? Common question if you're in fine art, where can I determine the actual value of this art? Whatever that is. Stuck for ideas, conduct an interview with somebody, maybe an expert in your field or someone, a vendor or supplier that you use, or somebody that comes in to your shop and is partnered with you in some way. Highlight one of your employees or one of your volunteers in a post. You could predict trends in your industry. People love that. You could say, you know, next year at this time, X is going to happen in my industry, and let's watch for that. And people love that. Invite guest contributors. So if you're really stuck for ideas, you could bring somebody in to post for you on a topic that's that they're familiar with, that's related to your business in some way. Demonstrate something or provide a tutorial. Now, even though I put that as number 7 on the list, it's probably number 1 in terms of popularity. So if you can use your Facebook posts to demonstrate something or show people how to do something, a little tutorial, that's excellent quality content, and you will get engaged people if you put some of those things up. Engaged meaning they'll like it, they'll comment, they'll share it, or they'll ask you questions. Another thing people love, create the top X list, top 5 things you should know type of list. People love the lists, and furthermore, they like them and comment and share it. And that's what we're going for in terms of good content and to build up your number of likers. And then finally, you could tell at regular intervals, actually, the backstory to your business. How did you get involved in this? How did you first get involved in the industry? What brought you to the Monadnock region? What brought you to New Hampshire? People love hearing those personal stories about the business owners they do business with. Erica's asking, what about highlighting clients? Absolutely. I'm sorry that was implied in there. But yes, highlight your clients, highlight your best clients. If it's another business, if you're a business-to-business type business, that's an excellent way to spread the good news. But even highlighting the clients, absolutely should do that. In certain cases, you should get their permission first. Maybe they'll want to give you a testimonial saying how wonderful you are, or just you want to say something wonderful about them. You might want to warn them ahead of time, especially if you're using their photograph, get their permission. But that's a great idea, Liz. Thank you for, or I mean, Erica, thanks for bringing that up. So tell the backstory of how you got into business. And then your only job is to fill up your page with something really, really interesting. Are you ready? Are you ready? Every day. Every day. People usually freak out in my live workshops when I say that. They cannot fathom putting up a post every day. And I'm not just saying that because just to say it, I'm saying it because we know from the data that that's what works. Once a day, every day is best. No more, no less. In other words, don't go hog wild and post 6 times a day. Once a day will do it. And don't skip a day if you can help it. With rare occasions, you can do more than 1 post a day. If you've done something in the morning, do it in the evening, and then you're going to capture a different audience. And we're going to look at how that works a little bit later. Or if something has dramatically changed in your business during the day, you want to post about it, absolutely. If it's closed because of the snowstorm or whatever it is. But the general rule is once a day, every day, no more, no less, no less. Type into the chat box if you have any questions or concerns about that once a day, every day idea. This is the response I usually get when I say that, okay? So what will help you do once a day, every day, is to be able to schedule posts. So let's say you have an hour free time on Monday, and you can fill up the posts for the week by using Facebook's scheduling tool. Here's the briefest possible review I can give you of that. And like I said, if you don't know how to do this, I can send you a mini tutorial showing you the same things. But if you're writing a post, you're over here on the left, write the post in the box, and down below you'll see a button that shows like this, Share Now. Instead of hitting the Share Now button to post, or in some cases you might be seeing a Publish button on the right. I'm not certain what the difference is. It depends on the type of post. You might say Publish. When you hover over that Publish button, the same kind of drop-down menu comes up as this you'll see over here. Schedule the post as opposed to Share Now. Schedule is the next step, and then Publish. And you can pick from this calendar item into infinity, into the future. You can tell it exactly which dates to post the thing you've just written, on, and you can tell it exactly what time of day to go live. Okay, that's going to help you with that once a day, every day, so you're not always concerned about it and sitting at your computer. Amy is asking, what if you're a seasonal business, open May to October? So if you're seasonal, I'm assuming, Amy, you're asking, do I have to continue to post once a day? And guess what? Yes, because you want people to have you top of mind throughout that non-active part of your year. That would be my recommendation, to continue to post every day, to be visible and to retain the interest you've already seen in your business by posting on Facebook. I hope that answers your question, Amy. Let me know if it doesn't. So that's a brief review of scheduling, and it's the way that I'm able to manage the Facebook pages that I manage, which are many for clients. It's the scheduling tool, and I set aside an hour for each client, and I fill it up into the future for as far as I can during that 1 hour. Okay? So another advanced question I have for you is, have you programmed your call to action button? Anybody want to say yep in the chat box? Or is this your response? What the heck is a call to action button? Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Liz says, I think I have. Okay, so your call to action button is, here are the tops of 3 different Facebook business pages. The top one is mine, and then 2 others. At the top, you see the blue button under the cover photo at the top of the page, as it was at this point. It said sign up. And the button down here underneath the Teddy Bear Tea Party is send message. And the bottom one here says learn more. Ooh, did you know that that button was even there? And have you programmed it? So the default, if you haven't programmed it, is send message. But know that there are 9 other things, 7 other messages that can say sign up, send message, learn more. Send message is the popular one and the default one. And what that means is, if I saw that as a visitor to your page and hit the send message button, I would be able to message you directly within Facebook. So in other words, I wouldn't have to get out and email you as a result. So that's something that you should do, and make sure that that button is programmed accurately for you. So for me, because I'm always trying to get people to register for my webinars, my button often says sign up, and a person clicking on that would be led to the page that you all were led to some way or another, led to the page where you can click through and register for the webinar here or the workshop. Send message, just as I said, learn more, and people often use that one, learn more, bringing people not to something within Facebook, but out to a website where maybe you've published a page on your website that explains what you do, or is explaining an event coming up, or is directing people to a sale page on your website. That's a possibility too. So let's look at some of the other ones that you can do. So we've got sign up, send message, learn more, and going to the next page, you program that button just simply by, as the owner of the page, hovering over it, hovering over the blue button. It comes up with this menu saying, get subscribers, view insights, edit button, or delete it. And starting with edit button, then you hang on over to the left, over to the right, I'm sorry. Pardon me, over to the right, it brings up this longer menu of possibilities. And even within each of these titles, there are some, the button text itself will come up from here to choose. So book services, if I were to click on that, book services, what would come up would be a contact button or a make an appointment button. That's one that a lot of like masseuse people or people who have appointments, maybe dog grooming, whatever, can have one where people can make an appointment directly with you using that button on your Facebook page. I do that for my haircutting people in Antrim, New Hampshire. Get in touch would be variations of the email or texting or something like that. Learn more, as I mentioned. Make a purchase or a donation, and that's one where you could lead people to a website where you're selling something. Okay, so that's the programming your button, which is called the call to action button, and it's just something many of us miss in our business pages. So let me know if you've got any questions on that. Type it into the chat box. So back to the question of when to post and how often. You already heard from me how often, and that was once a day, every day. But here's what we know from the data of what is actually working in terms of when people have studied this. What gets greater engagement? What times of day, what days of weeks cause the reader to engage with those posts you've put up? So for some, and this is fairly recent, so March of 2018, it doesn't change very much, this kind of data. But what we learned from here is that Sunday and Saturday, 32% more engagement, meaning people have taken the time to like, comment, share, click on, raise a question with the post that you've posted. And engagement is what you want, because engagement is given priority weight, extra weight, I should say, from Facebook. The algorithm of Facebook gives that type of activity on your page higher ranking, so that your content is higher ranking in people's timelines. You'll rank higher up when you're there, when they're looking at Facebook. Well, that was inelegant. Anyway, so Tuesday, beyond Saturdays and Sundays, Tuesdays and Fridays get higher engagement than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So let's just take a step back and go, well, why could that be? On Saturday and Sunday, we're just going to guess here that people have more time on their hands, so they will take the time to comment and like and share. On Tuesday and Friday, they probably don't necessarily have that much time, but they're sick of being at work. So they're going to do that extra step, like, comment, share your stuff on a Tuesday or Friday, more so than on a Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And probably if you think of your own behavior, that probably holds true, that you're doing, trying to keep your nose to the grindstone the front half of the week, and the last half of the week you're kind of falling off the job. Let me know right in the chat box if you've got any other questions as we go along. And so next thing we learned from some of this data is that time of day matters. So if you post at 3 p.m., you will get more clicks on any links you might have in the post. And if you post at 1 p.m., you'll get more shares. People will take the time to hit the share button and repost it to their page. So 1 p.m. and 3 p.m., interesting, isn't it? And that's, again, where the scheduling comes in. So if we know this from the data, and you're going to use your scheduling tool, you'll want to drop your post in just ahead of those times, that 1 p.m. time or the 3 p.m. time, to capture that activity, that potential activity, and to capture it, those who come to the rest, to your page the rest of the day. I hope that makes sense for folks. You're able to follow that. So shoot for afternoon is what we learn, and 1 p.m. will be one outcome and 3 p.m. will be a different outcome, theoretically. So to know, that's what the overall data shows us about Facebook. People have studied this, but you want to do this because I said so, but you should also be checking up on your insights to make sure it makes sense for your audience. And what I mean by that is Facebook is going to show you, the owner of the page, if you have any variance in the times of day or days of the week where your particular audience, the people who've already come to like your page, are online. So if you were to click on that Insights button again, let's see what happens. Well, this is one of the data points that comes up when you're looking at Insights. It's under a submenu called Posts, and what comes up is an analysis of days of week you've got people online. So what this is actually showing you here is at this moment, I had 477 fans of the page, 477 likers. And this is showing me, of those, how many of them were online on any given day. So Tuesday, 412, Wednesday, 418, Thursday, 419, 417, 412. So what we see by this is my people are less likely to be, just a tiny bit, less likely to be online on the weekends. Now this is online only, on using Facebook only. It doesn't indicate any action on their part that they've liked, commented, or shared. Just to see that it's an even across the board makes sense. So this is something you should look at for your own page and see if yours is more variable than mine for whatever reason. Let's say your target audience are a bunch of nurses who are busy during the day and not allowed to be on computers. There are those jobs out there. And so for whatever reason, if you had a target audience of nurses, you might find that they are way not online during the week and they are online on the weekends. Similarly, down at the bottom, this whale-looking graph, that's to show you what time of day your people are online. So again, for most businesses, this is fairly steady. There's not too many people online at 3 in the morning, and it starts to ratchet up starting at 9, and it goes across. Maybe there's a blip at night, and that's pretty typical. There's a blip at night after you've come home from work, you've put the kids to bed or had dinner, and now you're sitting down watching TV and looking at Facebook, which is what most people do. So this is sort of another reason why posting in the afternoon is good. You're going to catch the bulk of people if you've got that late in the day, evening blip. But again, the whole point is that you should look at your particular insights for your page to see what's happening now with the people that have already found you. And maybe the data that you see will dictate to you a change in your behavior. When you start to schedule posts, maybe you need to schedule them late at night for whatever reason, or schedule them at different times than those 1 p.m. or 3 p.m.s that I've mentioned. And don't take this as really black and white gospel. It's good to experiment. I mean, if you have a graph like mine that's fairly even, why not try posting in the very, very early mornings for a while and see if you get a blip then? It'd just be interesting to see if that happens. And you probably should. All right, another way to determine what works best for your audience, and therefore telling you that you're posting the right things. This is another piece of your insights. Every single post you've done is analyzed by Facebook, and this data is constantly available to you, always. So you don't need to see any more than the orange bars here. This is my list of most recent posts back, starting from today, back a few weeks, a few days. And what all we need to know from this, the glimpse of this, is the longer the orange bar, the better. That's the orange bar is indicating reach, meaning I reached a bunch of people more than the average on that day. So that was February 14th, Valentine's Day. I didn't post anything spectacular that day. It was a testimonial from a student, and it got a lot of relative lot of engagement and therefore a lot of reach. And so what that should say to me, the business owner, is I should do more of whatever that was. So I could go in here and analyze what I did. I posted it on February 14th at 6:48 a.m. And on that post, I could click through and get even more data other than I reached 101 people. 5 of them engaged in the post in some way. Well, that's what the blue and the pink bar here is, engagement. So what I'm saying here is look at the data behind each of your posts when you have time. And then when you find ones that work better than others, do more of the same. Repeat the topic, the theme, the times of day, and see if you can intentionally tweak those numbers of views. I hope that's making sense to people. Please be sure to find the chat box and type me a note or question if you're confused. And otherwise, we'll continue here. So let's take a moment to talk about the visual design of your posts. All of you are probably posting photos, if not graphics and videos, but know that the best kinds of photos you can use on your posts by virtue of the data are ones that you've taken yourself and maybe added a bit of text to. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what I mean. But we know that those work with your audience better than stock photos. And stock photos are something I use a lot because I'm trying to illustrate a lot of different points. But stock photos are a second good option for you if you don't have photos to illustrate what you're talking about. Think about going to some of the sites that will offer you copyright-free quality stock photos, and I'll mention a few of them in a moment. So what we know resonates with people on posts are human faces. So the extent that you can have a photograph involving a human face, a baby face would be even better, and a baby face with cats would be sort of ideal. But to the extent that you can do this, taking your own photos and it relates well to your business, there's Mindy out there who runs a fine art gallery. If she could post paintings that contain close-ups of human faces, that would be almost the same thing. So think about that as the type of photo that works best. So there's a close-up of my darling daughter who runs a personal trainer business, and she's added to the photo of herself, she's added an overlay of text that is explaining the concepts she's trying to get across on any given day. All right, so here is another example of what I mean. This is a stock photo, not a photo I took, but it's a photo I got from a stock photo site. And I combined it with this quote from Pablo Picasso, and I used it on a site where I talk about my writing life, which is something I do on the side. So people love those kinds of things. People, the stock photo that you saw there probably came from a site called Pixabay. That's all one word, Pixabay. It's my favorite stock photo site. They have copyright-free quality photographs that are free to use, and they're organized by theme, and I can go in there and search for writing with pen and come up with that photo you just saw. There are dozens of other stock photo sites to choose from, and I'm going to talk about them a little bit later. So there's photos in terms of gaining interest to your post. There's graphics, and if you have a concept to talk about and can't think of a photograph to illustrate it, an interesting use of type or a graphic that you can find is a great way to accompany that text with a video. So here we have connect, commit, and close. And this was a graphic I created to advertise my webinar on advertising. And so these three C's, the three C's are what your goals are for Facebook ads. So I didn't know what to do for an illustration, so I just took the C's and made it a little bit more interesting with the white text over each C. Connect, commit, close. So that's just a graphic I created to illustrate the concept. And if all you have is text to go on, it's easy to find things at stock photo sites or a site I'm going to talk about in a minute that will, you can take text and overlay it. So this was just advertising the candlelight service at my church, and here's the time, and I put it over a Christmassy looking scene, and that was the cover photo for the Facebook page for the church that day. Here's what we know about human behavior. People love motivational quotes on Facebook. Go figure. So anything like this, go slowly in the direction of your dreams, or in this case, don't ever quit. That's the message here. So motivational quotes like this are liked, commented, and shared greater than any other type of post. So therefore, you should do it. Pick motivational quotes that resonate with your business, with your audience. So how are you going to create those? Here is one tip I have for you. If you're not clear on how to put text over photos or how to size photos for Facebook, yada, yada, go to this site immediately, Canva, Canva.com. It's a wonderful free tool that will provide you with templates that you can see. On the left are the templates. You could steal the one that says Angela's Tea Party and bring it over into the work area, and you can make those words say anything you want. You can change the color, you can change the background, but you've got pre-formatted graphic design that you can manipulate to your own effect. And I use this site all the time, and so does everybody else using Facebook for Business. Canva will also pre-format it in terms of size. You can tell Canva first, I'm making a Facebook post. It gives you back the size template that you'll need to have that post work well on Facebook. All right, if you need to know, what was the name of that site again, Amy? It's Canva, Canva.com, Canva.com. It's like canvas without the word S on it. So if you want and need to learn more about how to make graphics, I am doing a webinar on that topic on March 20th. This one comes around every now and then. March 20th is the next one. And it's entitled Learn to Make Beautiful Graphics for Social Media. And I'll talk about those photo stock sites and the graphic sites, and also some sites that will help you actually edit sizes and such. It's just a fun thing to think about enrolling there. It might be helpful. So now a word about videos. On Facebook, videos are the in thing. In other words, readers like to see videos, and furthermore, Facebook wants you to do videos. Facebook is giving priority weight again to video posts over photos and graphic types of posts. So if you can think of ways to include a video in your future posts, do so. And what I mean by that is you want to have a video that is uploaded directly from your computer or device to Facebook, not brought over from YouTube. So if any of you are at all in the business of producing videos, you may have uploaded them to your YouTube channel. And when you do that, YouTube presents you with a link to that video that you could drop in to your Facebook post, and do not do that. It's because Facebook does not like YouTube, and I mean that literally. The two companies are in competition with each other, and Facebook has tricked out its algorithm to punish you if you're using links from YouTube. It'll show, if you do that, it will show to your viewers, and it'll act just like every other post. It's just Facebook has tricked it so it'll less likely to be seen by your viewers. Okay, so that means have a video on your computer or your device and upload it directly into Facebook. And all that is the same way you attach a photo. You instead click on video, a camera, and it will, an icon of a camera, and it will load up directly from your computer. So I hope that makes sense, but doing videos is the preferred type of post on Facebook these days. So if you haven't done that yet for your business, think about what it would take for you to embrace that concept, to do a few videos. Give yourself a goal of doing one video a week, one original video a week, rather than just sharing a video from somebody else. And I want to give you the assignment of think of creating your very first video as a commercial for you or your business or service, and have it be very, very short. Shoot it on your camera, upload it to Facebook, and you're done. So the best types of videos that you can think about doing are, again, demonstrations or tutorials. Here's a guy on YouTube demonstrating how to peel a potato. He did it for 10 minutes. So do something less lame than that, but demonstrate something related to your business or your services that you offer, and think of it as a demonstration or tutorial is what people love. So maybe you want to plan out some demonstrations you can do. Also, it's okay to just film something that's entertaining. A piano playing cat would be good, but whatever you can do that makes sense with your business. One moment while I clear my throat. So I've often seen, backing up, just as a business, you don't need to always be so serious all the time and always on point. People love videos. People love videos of cats. And you posting it as a business is not going to diminish the fact that you're in business. You're going to create warm, fuzzy feelings about you, that you, the business owner, had enough sense of humor to post something like this. So don't think it's something you shouldn't do because it's too casual or not businessy enough. You should think about doing this. I often see people in my area, in Peterborough, the businesses will post something that they've noticed in their business parking lot or in the tree. A barred owl has come and landed on a tree outside their window, or the snowplow has done something weird in their parking lot, something like that. All of that is good. It's a good strategy to think about being funny or entertaining in a regular manner. So another type of good video to think about doing are interviews with people. Here's Ellen and what's her name, the Titanic singer. But interviewing somebody had raised a question about what about interviewing clients? Absolutely. Interviewing your clients, your funders, your favorite customers, your suppliers, somebody who comes in and does something weird in your office every day, something like that. But people love interviews and will stick with an interview video a longer time. Okay, so if, again, if you're confused about how to do videos and nervous about it, especially about putting yourself on camera, know that next Wednesday, I'm doing a longer than average webinar on that topic called video marketing and broadcasting. And in that one, we get into the vagaries of broadcasting live through your business page. If you haven't done that already, it's a quite wonderful feature. And Nanette is a performer, and she and I will teach you how to think about doing videos of yourself and without getting too nervous about it. Okay, that's next week. It's longer than average, and I will send you a link to that webinar at the end of this. So if you take that webinar, you also get something that Annette and I have produced called a bundle, and it's 4 tutorials about the topic of doing videos, and it's 4 worksheets about the topic of doing videos. We sell that for $27, but if you take one of our webinars or workshops, you get it for free included, okay? So some other best practices to think about in your advanced Facebook activities, and then we're going to stop and wait for questions, and then we'll be close to wrapping up. Some best practices for you in the advanced area. Take some time to share the love. And what I mean by that is go and like other business pages. How many of you have done that? Have you ever liked another business page? And have you had trouble doing that? So type that in the chat box if you would. Liz is asking, what time is the video marketing workshop? It is at noon, and it just goes longer. I think it goes till 2:15. Mindy has liked other pages. Yay, Mindy, and you totally should. So any of you who are members of chambers of commerce or are surrounded by other businesses should just go find the business pages of businesses close to you and like them. And when you do that, quite often they'll like you back, or you can at least see what they're posting, and every now and then reshare what they're posting, comment on it, mention it. It's just a good way to spread the love around. Not all business, Erica said, I have liked other businesses, but not all businesses I like will pop up with the @ symbol. You know, sorry, Erica I had that trouble earlier, and I can't figure out what it is. Sometimes an @ symbol in front of the business page does not pop up the business page, or does not make it clickable. And if anybody out there hasn't done that, know that if you take the @ sign in front of a business name, we'll take my business name, @Halverson New Media. If you put all those words together with an @ sign in front of it, it should format it such to make it clickable to the reader, and also notifies that, that business that you have done so, which is also a good practice. So do that when you can, and I cannot answer why that it doesn't often work that way, Erica. You just have to keep trying, or else that business has done something weird with their own Facebook page. So just quickly, how to like another business. Facebook has moved this recently and hidden it. So instead of hitting the like button that would be available if you were visiting a business page, don't hit the like button, hit the 3 dots that are right over to the right. And note that it comes up as it populates a sub menu. And in that menu is like as your page. And that's what you want. Like the business as your business. Don't like it as a person. You can do that too, that's fine. But like a business as your business is going to help your business. Amy says, like under my name personally or my business Facebook page. You want to, just what I said here, like the other business as your business page. So take note what it says, like as your page. A lot of people will miss that. I will do systematically every Sunday night, say, I'll go through and find a few more businesses to go like them as my business page. If you belong to any industry or trade group or chamber of commerce, it would do you well to find the people that are fellow members of that organization, find their business pages and go like them. That's just a good practice. All right, some more best practices. Make sure you're setting aside time in your day to manage your social media sites. Many of you might be doing it sort of haphazardly or randomly, but if you give yourself an hour on Monday mornings or an hour on Tuesday afternoons to do the things that I've talked about, schedule some posts going out, look at your insights, like other businesses, create an interesting graphic. Give yourself some set time in your week where you're paying attention to that stuff and not just doing it randomly. You will reap rewards. You will reap benefits of being consistent at doing that. All right. If you haven't done this already, I want you to pull out a piece of paper or a paper calendar and scribble out the things you should be posting about, the events you have coming, the sales you have coming, the things you've always intended to say on your posts. Here, with all the technology I have, here's what I do. I have a blank template calendar, and I'm always scribbling out new ones that says, I got to do this next Thursday. I got to do this next Friday. Have an editorial calendar. Pull it out. give yourself themes for the week. You might decide that next week is, I don't know, Client Appreciation Week, and you're going to make a post about your clients once a day, every day. You might decide it's we're tired of winter week and just post funny pictures of winter. Anyway, that type of thing, plan it out 3 months ahead to just kind of give yourself a framework from which to work, and something that will trick your mind when you sit down to write your posts. Oh, it's Tuesday, I got to do this. Let's get to work on that. An editorial calendar is just a great tool for that. Something that's always in front of your face, reminding you, do the thing, don't let it be forgotten, okay? So other things you could put in your editorial calendar is who has to approve things, if you have to work with anybody approving your posts, or things you have to ask, or photos you have to get scheduled, or videos you have to plan to shoot, okay? Does that make sense to everybody? We are at 5 minutes to noon by my clock. This is my final word, and then I want you all to think about questions you might have, something I didn't cover that you wish I had, I'll be able to answer. But finally, make sure that you have told everybody everywhere that you are on Facebook. Is it on your business page? I mean, I'm sorry, your business card that you're on Facebook? Your business page on Facebook contains its own unique web address, and you could put that web address on your card. You could include it in your email signatures. You should have a notation on your website. I am on Facebook, follow me there. And if you have an actual physical location, a brick and mortar store, make sure there's a sign somewhere by the cash register, we are on Facebook, follow us there. Okay, so tell everybody. Finally, we have a question here, and the rest of you, please drop in with your questions. In regard to the question of finding the @business name, and it's not population, find the correct business name, go to that business page, find what the name they're using. Sometimes it's an abbreviation. Oh, so Mindy is saying you got to make sure you're using the exact correct name of the business that they are using on Facebook, which could be slightly different from how you know them in the real world. There's things like, I had this issue last week, The Green Grocer, that organic shop that's in West Peterborough, New Hampshire. I could not find them on Facebook. I knew they were on Facebook. When I did the @ it didn't work. And it was because I was clicking on some other business in California or something that had a similar name, but did not or did include the Green Grocer. So those are the kinds of challenges you get when you're trying to tag another business. Yeah. Hope I'm explaining this. Exactly, Christine. Oh, okay. Mindy says I got it right. Thank you, Mindy. But it's annoying, and you just have to make sure you've got the right business name. And still, even though, Mindy, doing all that correctly, I have still had problems. And I do think sometimes a business page has done a setting on their page that makes it hard to tag them. But then that leads to another question. There is when you've liked these other businesses, and if you're like me, you just want to see what some businesses are posting about without going through your old newsfeed, there is a section on your page where you can say, show me just the pages I've liked, as opposed to page I've liked, kids, page I like, my friends, my family, my friends, my family, page I like. You can flip it to just show you the businesses at will, whenever you want to do that. And I use that quite a lot when I do want to do that thing where I comment and like and share something of my fellow businesses and want to make sure that I see what they've been posting. I hope that makes sense. You will find it if you go looking for it. It's called See Pages Feed. Are there any other questions coming in out there? We've had 5 other students on this call, and I am grateful that you have found me. A reminder that there's another one next week on the topic of video marketing and broadcasting, and it's actually an hour and 45 minutes. And if you take that one, you get a tutorial with it. You also get access to our secret Facebook group where we have ongoing tips and tricks on doing video. Any other questions here at 3 minutes to noon? What didn't I cover that you wish I had? Throw it in the chat box. I'm good with that. As you think, I'm going to unmute you all. How do you like that? And, whoa. and see if I can hear from any of you. All right, it says that you are unmuted. Anybody want to shout it out, a question to me? And do say it loudly so I can hear you. Anybody? Somebody's playing music.
Oh, it's my clock.
All right. No questions? Now I've got your microphones on. No questions here, Mindy says. Liz, Amy, thank you for joining. Shout out a question if you have one at this point. Erica?
Nope, you answered mine with the @ symbol, so that was good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, as a reminder, you'll be sent a video link to this. And when you get that, if you want the mini tutorial about how to schedule posts, just drop me a note right back and I'll send that to you. And what else was I going to say? Another webinar next week. And if you're on my newsletter, you'll get notifications and reminders about that. And you've been a great audience. You've been a quiet audience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you. I want to warn you all that I'm broadcasting from Savannah, Georgia, where we are not expecting a snowstorm. Is there one heading your way in New England?
I'm going to be in Savannah next week. Can't wait.
Who said that?
Amy.
Amy, you did? Well,
Yeah.
have you been here?
I'll be there. I'll be down there for 2 months.
Oh, good for you. Have you been here before?
Yes. We rented a place over on the landings.
Excellent. We are here every February. It's a wonderful.
Ah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you, everybody. We hope to see you online and in person sometime soon. And again, look for the link to the video version of this by tomorrow morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Drive the snow. Thanks, everyone.